All right, Coach. Just a few days before NCAA, just kind of speak to the general excitement of this week and like what this means for the program and for the team.
Yeah, obviously NCAA is very exciting, especially indoors right now because it's our only team scored championship. Next year that'll change entering the Big Ten because we'll have an indoor Big Ten championship, which should be fun. But this year, since the Pac-12 doesn't have an indoor championship, the NCAA is our only team scored championship. And if you asked any member of our team, men or women, I think the scored team events are their favorite because we get to compete as an entire team, and obviously we really enjoy that. And that's what sport's all about. So I'm looking forward to the NCAAs.
On the women's side, it looks like, your team has a chance to do some great things. When the season started, was this, competing for this team title? Was that in the cards for you guys?
The women's team, it was very good last year, and obviously we took some heavy losses, losing Yorinda and Izzy, who scored a lot of points for us at the outdoor NCAAs. I think, to be exact, it was 26 of our points, so that was a lot. But the way this team has competed all year, so far indoors this year, they've been really good, and we've covered all the different event areas from middle distance and distance running to the throws, to the jumps, to the multis, to the sprints, hurdles, relays. We're just covered in a lot of different areas, and I think we have 10 entrants on the women's side, which is just about as much as that might be as many entrants as any other team outside of Arkansas this year. And again, by covering so many different areas, I think it's going to make us very formidable. So I'm excited to see what the women can do.
Having athletes like Jaden and Jada, both veterans who've been there before, done it before, what's it like having those two on a team that's, just having that veteran presence at a championship?
You just can't replace that. That's having them. They're older. They're just more developed and stronger and been in the sport, been in the game a lot longer. Having been to the national meet and competed at that level, it's just you just can't replace experience. It's sometimes it's nice to have that youthfulness of not knowing what's going on, but a lot of times that doesn't pan out as well as when you have the experience going in. And Jada and Jaden, they've been outstanding all year long. I mean, I think Jaden's ranked third in the 60 right now, and I think seventh in the 200, and Jada's second in the shot put. Senior leadership, you just can't be beat.
Do you feel like you guys are peaking, or you're like kind of in an upward trajectory right now with how the season's been going?
Yeah, I don't think we ever, sell the farm indoors in terms of, peaking fitness, but we're going into this more rested than we have the other meets, the other competitions, as I would imagine other teams will as well. And we're just really we want to have a good showing for the Ducks at this meet. This is an indoor national championship, so it's important to us, but I wouldn't say that we would have sold the farm for it.
Oh, I guess on the men's side, I guess in future years you hope to bring more than one entrant, but just, I guess, what was kind of just when you look at the men's team and what you had this season, what was your goals as far as kind of like getting events in and people getting experience, I guess?
Sure. So our team, it didn't radically change between last year and this year. So I don't think we weren't unrealistic in our expectations or our goals. Obviously, we're working really hard. The team is developing. They're young. That's the big difference between probably the men and the women, is that the men's team is very young. It's we have a young thrower who's just going to be outstanding, some young middle distance and distance runners who are outstanding. But track and field at this level, it's the older you are, the more mature you are, really the bigger impact you can have in the sport. And that's where we're lacking on the men's side. We don't have a lot of older junior and senior impact players, and that's what we're really looking for. And we'll give the young guys a chance to keep developing, and as they do, I would hope that the future looks a little bit different for them.
Speaking of the futures, is Devin Hart, is he a guy that's going to be eligible outdoors this spring?
He'll be eligible outdoors this spring, yeah.
And will be his final season?
No, he has another year after this. Okay. Yeah, he has one more year. I think he has cross country, indoor and outdoor.
I also saw on the schedule just popped up an LCC meet on Saturday. Do you have people heading to that?
We did, but I'm not so sure that's going to necessarily be the case yet. We'll see if that still holds. I think we were going to have a couple throwers go, and but if the weather is rough, I'm not so sure that they'll throw, depending on what it looks like. We'll see.
When you're looking at the weekend schedule, Friday, big chance for some points early on with the pentathlon and the DMR.
how important are those two events to kind of get the ball rolling into, because both of the, at least the pentathlon will be done before the prelims get started on Saturday.
Yeah, momentum is super important. I mean, so obviously there's prelims the day before and the mile and the 60, and just having the ability, and again, the DMR final, the Pent final, if we can get a little momentum in those two events and put some points on the board early, knowing that we're in the hunt to do something kind of special, that'll motivate the rest of the team. So it's really important that we have a good first day, and I think our team knows that. We've gone over that before, and we'll certainly go over it again before we get there. And but it is a big step for us. That DMR and the Pent will be huge, just because they're the finals for that first day.
Jerry, who's writing the training for the distance women? Is it you, or does Shalane do it?
Shalane does it.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Shalane does it.
That's pretty.
Yeah. She's done a great job. Shalane's done an amazing job with that group of athletes. So yeah, I think she's having a lot of fun doing it too.
Yeah, I saw her running with them.
Yeah. Yeah. She can still do it too. She can still actually do the running part too. Yeah.
When you look at that group, Jerry, and Shalane did an interview yesterday, and she just spoke to like having that depth of, one day I'm leading, one day it's Maddie, one day it's Mia, one day it's Claudia. So when you talk about that group, when you're looking out and they're practicing, and they're just going at it, and the workouts are looking so good, how does that help to this kind of weekend where they may running double, or you have some legs on the DMR that didn't make a prelim but are still top notch?
Right. So we don't know like what our lineup will necessarily be. A lot of it will depend on how that mile goes on the first day. But what I can tell you is, when you have that kind of depth, when you have 5 women who can run 4:35 or better, and I'm not even sure you would have the stat better than I think, are all 5 women in the top 10 list? I mean, they've all made the top 10. So that's unusual when you have 5 women on the team at the same time that are all time top 10 from the U of O. That's pretty special. So I know that, when you see them doing workouts and the flexibility they have with getting different work, they're just the workouts, and you don't have to lead everything. It's not one person who's dominating any specific workout. They have a whole group of them. It's really, that's probably a special case. And I know Shalane said, like I said, she's had a lot of fun with it, but to have just a group of milers like that can run 4:35 and I think we have some, I wouldn't be surprised. They're young. There's some young ones too, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few that can run in the 4:20s right now. So, which would be really outstanding. This would be a perfect time to do it too.